I've seen. Well, that certainly doesn't look like your average Anglia, does it? It's a little bit different. And I see yeah, and I see the Cortina over there sporting a 3000 badge. So obviously they put a new, different engine in that. So what have you come in this morning? Good show. It looks to be a good show, doesn't it?
Yeah, they usually are good.
Yeah. Hope you enjoy your day.
Yes, and you.
The Mark II Zodiac was built between 1956 to 1962, and it consisted of a three-model lineup. There was the Consul, the Zephyr, and the Zodiac, which was the top of the line. They had a 2,553cc engine, and they came in both a high line and a low line roof. The low line roof being a slightly lower roof line, obviously. And you can tell the difference between the two because on the low line, the instrument binnacle is different to the high line. On the high line, it's more semicircular. But one of the easiest giveaways to tell the difference between a high line and a low line is the headlamp bezel around the lights. If it's chrome, then it's a low line. If it's painted, that's the high line. And you'll also see there's an addition of a metal sunroof, sun visor on this one above the windscreen. And it has additional spotlights, hunter lights I believe they're called. We're looking at a Mark I Ford Cortina estate car. Or are we? Because the bonnet badge says Consul. So what does it say at the back? Well, the back actually displays the Cortina badge. So what is it? Is it a Cortina or is it a Consul? To answer that question, it's actually a Ford Consul Cortina. Now, the Mark I Cortina was built between 1962 and 1966. And when first introduced, it was given the name of the Ford Consul Cortina. And it wasn't until a minor facelift in 1964 that it then became known as the Cortina. The chief designer was Roy Brown Jr., who was the designer of the Ford Edsel, and apparently he'd been banished to Dagenham following its failure. And the other fact about the Cortina is that it was named after an Italian ski resort. Of course, Ford at that time had a thing for Italian names because they also had the Capri.
think they're all hinges. And they make the
It is. It's a. So the colour's fern green, eh? What a lovely car, isn't it? And this is all original. That is a real credit to you.
Thank you.
That is absolutely fantastic. To believe that that's original condition, you've done a really good job of looking after it. And you've owned it since you were 22.
Yeah.
And how many years is that, if you don't mind me asking?
Well,
Quite a few.
car's 52.
52. So you've had it, yeah. So you've had it 48, 49 years?
Yeah,
Blimey. Well, you're in as good condition as the car.
well, I think it's in better nick than me, to be honest.
Do you know, that's got to be one of the nicest Capris I've seen for a long time. But for that to be actually original as well, it's absolutely amazing. Beautiful colour.
Says green's my favourite colour.
Sorry?
I went looking for a green.
Did you?
I don't like when you see a car with itself.
No. The trouble with this is that you're boss.
Oh yeah. We're looking at a 1967 Mark II Ford Cortina GT, and this one actually has 4 doors. Some of them come with 2 doors. This particular car, I believe, had a 1500cc engine, but in 1967 was the point at which they also brought out the 1600cc engine. The Mark II was built between 1966 and 1970. And in 1967, it was Britain's most popular selling new car. The gentleman was just telling me there about he's got a few cars, he said. I said, yeah, like most of us, you know. And I said, he said, I said, but I said, I was looking at them the other day, and I said, I was tempted, but I thought, no, I've got too many. And he said, you can never have too many. The Ford Avio Owners Club, and Avio stands for Advanced Vehicle Operations. In 1970, Ford opened a new facility at South Ockenden in Essex, where they would build and develop performance vehicles. This is a very rare and very special Ford Escort Mexico Estate car finished in Daytona yellow. Now, if you're thinking, did they really make a Mexico Estate car, or has just somebody made it look like one? Well, the answer is yes, they did actually make a Mexico Estate car. And YNO14L, the car that you see here, was one of only 3 ever built. They were built for evaluation purposes in 1972. And of course, there was the fuel crisis which came along in about 1973, and it's thought that that's what led to the project being abandoned. Apparently, as I understand it, all 3 vehicles still exist, and this car obviously has been subject to quite a meticulous restoration, and it's been owned by the gentleman since 1996. But yes, it's a very special car. The Ford Escort estate finished in Vista Orange, was badged as a 1600 GT. And I just love the colour of Vista Orange and the side panels that go with it. But Ford had some lovely colour schemes on their RS2000s. The two-tone schemes were really striking, and it was a beautiful car to look at.
The other side.
The Mark IV Ford Zodiac Executive. It was built between 1966 and production ended in 1972. They had a V6 3-litre, or to be precise, a 2994cc engine if we want to split hairs. Obviously, the Executive was the top of the range model, and it was easily identifiable by its 4 headlights and its distinctive rear panel. The standard features included automatic transmission, power steering, and a sunroof. You even got reclining front seats, a walnut dash, reversing lights, and fog lights. And the sort of things that we expect as standard nowadays, but in those days, it was rare to get options such as that. Now, the spare wheel was housed in the engine compartment just ahead of the engine itself and behind the front grille. This helped to free up more space in the boot, the luggage compartment. And the grille itself actually served no purpose for airflow, for cooling, for the radiator, and air was taken in by other means. There was ducting for that. I think it was underneath the bumper. And obviously the Mark IV Zephyrs and Zodiacs were quite distinctive because of the long bonnets, or they seemed to look very long. I've seen this 3-litre Ford Granada Ghia at a few car shows this year. It's finished in Arizona Gold, which was quite a popular colour for them when they were new. There seemed to be quite a lot in that colour, and it suits the car well. And it's been a one family owned from new. It's basically 2 owners, and it's a nice car, and it's one of the later cars. It was registered in 1975, towards the end of production.
I do have one of those wheels that you walk in one.
Very impressive Mustang, sir. You couldn't exactly go under the radar in that, could you? You wouldn't be missed.
Did you see the Zodiac?
I did. Lovely, wasn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
Reminds me, every time I see one like that, it reminds me of Barry's.